In the past 2 weeks, we have seen the biggest currency moves in this market since Brexit, all right? And we know who the catalyst was, right? We anticipated if anything was going to rock these markets, it was going to be Trump. Let's talk about it, guys. Roll the intro. Traders, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Cleveland, head trader here with the top traders, and I'm excited to talk to you guys about this Turkish lira and kind of how that market played out. All right, we saw a massive price move, one of the biggest price moves that we've seen since Brexit, and subsequently after that price move, markets did stabilize a bit and pull back down in the structure. So there's a big lesson here in regards to how markets function that I want to go over, and we're going to go into the charts in just a second. All right, if you guys are new to the channel, welcome. We just hit right around 13,000 subscribers, and I have some pretty crazy goals, man. I wanted this channel to be at 50,000 subs by the end of the year, so we're gonna have to go content crazy. We're gonna go have to go community crazy. So excited about that. Okay, so guys, if you like the video for your boy. Again, if you're new, make sure you guys stay subscribed. All right. So yesterday I was monitoring markets and I pushed out a today's markets video. I want to talk about some of the trade ideas that we had for this week. Yesterday being Monday, today is Tuesday. Markets just finished wrapping up, and what I saw was the euro down there in the $1.13s, right? So here's a quick screenshot of the euro currently as it is, and this massive price move that we've seen over the past 24 hours. This is something that we pretty much we anticipated this, right? Because we know that the massive sell side break from that $1.15 area all the way down to that $1.1306. I think that's where markets ended up pushing down into. That was that Turkish lira event where markets went crazy, lots of risk, okay, came into the marketplace. We saw the Japanese yen accelerate in value. We saw the US dollar accelerate in value, and we saw some of the emerging market currencies lose a decent bit of value because a lot of people were freaking out about how, hey, maybe this Turkish lira, okay, and this banking issues are going to start affecting the entire euro market. All right, so Deutsche Bank was extremely overexposed to the Turkish lira, and a lot of the European banks were overexposed to the lira, and so a lot of folks got freaked out saying, holy cow, if this lira fails, this could have something to do, this could shake up that European central banking market and just to give banking sector overall. All right, so I said basically, hey, look, if this Turkish lira starts to stabilize and if this market starts to stabilize, we should see a push from the $1.13s, this area down here where we saw markets form below. Here's a screenshot back up into structure. I have the recording here. Check it out.
Remember, we did have a trade idea. If you guys watched today's markets video, the last today's markets video, we really did just get a retest of this previous base. I wanted to see a breakout of the structure here. We just got a retest on it. What if we start potentially putting in some buys? All right, really small, very small, starting you know, with less than 1%, potentially scaling to 1%. If we get the breakout, maybe putting on some more size, riding it back up in the structure. Okay, so look, that's my idea. That means US dollar weakness. That means right now.
So that's why I love pricing in data, right? If you can price in a price move, all right, and say, hey, this price move happened because of this event, and you think that event is going to stabilize, well, you should see price stabilize, and that's exactly what we got. Now, if we see markets currently, you guys can see we're testing the $1.15 highs. We're about to clunk out on the $1.16s because people overreacted, all right, to the Turkish lira situation. You had a lot of profit taking going on and just a lot of market asset allocation in general. And again, we just theorized that we probably will see a restabilization. There was a better look on it, actually. If you guys take a look right here on the dollar index, you see markets break higher on this dollar index, and they were just holding those highs. For what reason? Okay, who was going to continue buying the dollar up there at those highs? That's why we thought if we're going to get any kind of buy side participation, it's going to be back down here on these 95s. I think it's the 95s. Here's, I'll highlight the area for you. All right, and so that's just market functioning as a whole, right? You're going to have a lessening amount of buyers, especially when you have these ridiculous price moves. Market inefficiency, folks. Markets can't stabilize those type of price moves. So that was a pretty cool move. We also had a trade idea on the GBP JPY. That thing is still playing out, though. All right, here's a quick recording of what we thought could happen with the GBP JPY. Markets are still somewhat in the same area. Take a look.
Of course, by the way, JPY. We got to monitor the JPY. JPY is somewhat trading at an extreme. All right, look at this structure here. Look at the structure here. Can we see markets break back up into structure here on the JPY? Let's keep an eye on that as well. All right, so those are
So again, I do like this GBP JPY from a structural perspective. We do know the GBP has been getting considerably weaker in regards to what's been going on with Brexit. Things have not fared too well. There's been a lot of outside investment that has been usually going into the United Kingdom. It hasn't been going into the United Kingdom. Okay, so that's kind of slowed economic growth a little bit as well. But in the meantime, all right, on a short-term time perspective, I thought that we could see a resurgence of capital in the GBP JPY, pulling markets back up into structure. And again, remember, the Japanese yen bought up massively because of the Turkish lira events. Okay, you can see the same date that the Turkish lira situation happened. You can see the Japanese yen selling off. Here's a screenshot of the Turkish lira event, and then you can see what happened with the JPY, not selling off but buying up. All right, so again, I thought the same. It's really the same trade that we saw over with the US dollar, where we thought, hey, maybe markets are going to restabilize and we'll see price push back up into structure. Yet the move is happening a little bit slower, all right, than it did on that US dollar. So it's something I'm going to keep an eye on. It is going against the fundamental trend of markets at the moment. So it's something you got to be careful with, all right, if you're going to play it from a technical perspective. But there is a little bit of a fundamental sentiment or some fundamental catalyst or market timing event that's happening that I think is giving us an edge to have that market trade back up into structure. Okay, so that's something I'm going to be monitoring as well. And those are the trades. There's also a CHF play that I want to crank out on, but I'm going to go over that with you guys in the charts. All right, so make sure you guys stick around. All right, so again, guys, thank you for subscribing. If you are subscribed, if not, make sure you do so. Like the video for your boy. And if you guys are new and you want to get some of those Today Market videos, they come out every morning. Just click the link in the bio down below and you'll be able to join in. All right, lucky and happy to have you. Okay, guys, let's go over into the charts real quick. Let's check out the CHF.
All right, guys, as you can see, we don't have too much data when it pertains to that CHF, all right, but we do have some European PMIs that are going to be coming out, retail sales coming out, FOMC meeting on Wednesday. That's going to be tomorrow, so depending on when you guys see this, I don't know when you'll be able to capitalize on that, but again, it's happening. If you're in the community, you already know what's going on, okay? So I want to show you guys exactly where we are from a fundamental perspective, well, from a technical perspective when it comes to this USD CHF. Take a look at this. All right, so for on the CHF, what we were looking to see on the CHF was a break up into structure. All right, we wanted to see markets trade back inside of this previous range here. But what I mentioned was, I was like, guys, look, this US dollar is overly extended. It's overly extended, and it actually had a lot of strength come in at the same time the CHF had a lot of strength came in. But I thought the CHF strength was a lot more stable than the US dollar strength, which means we would see that CHF strength reflected sooner than we would see the dollar strength if the dollar strength had some type of pullback, if the dollar move had some type of pullback. Now, I know that sounds interesting or confusing, but let's take a look. Okay, so here you go. Let's take a look here. Where are we going to look? All right, so Euro CHF, for example, right? So we do see that the Euro CHF, we see markets did trade back up into structure here, right? And we see that the past few days, we saw markets trading, again, negatively for the CHF, right? You've got the Euro CHF here. It's costing more CHF to buy 1 euro. And you see that happening really across the board. Here's the Aussie CHF down here. This is how I have my chart set up, by the way, so I can quickly do cross-currency correlations to see where strength is coming from. And overall, you guys see in the past few days, look, you have some CHF weakness, and CHF weakness. So we can assume that when we see when we head back over and we go to the US dollar versus the Swiss franc, all right, and we see a down move, that's interesting, right? Because it's like, wait, we saw all of this CHF weakness happening on those other pairs, but currently right now in this USD CHF, we're seeing the CHF get quote-unquote stronger. Well, we know that this is dollar weakness, all right? And we would have had that break up into structure. We would have had that break up into structure if the CHF wasn't getting strong at the same time that dollar was getting strong. And that's something that I just was not anticipating. I'm like, wow, the CHF is keeping up with the dollar. But then when that Turkish lira event happened, and I want to display that for you guys over here on the dollar index. All right, notice when that dollar index, when the markets broke out of this structure here, yep, 95s. When that Turkish lira event happened, we had markets break outside of this consolidation. So the fundamental catalyst broke us outside of structures. That's what fundamentals are for. That's what they do. They break you and price you and value the market at new levels. All right, that's not something that happens technically. You're just reading it technically, but the fundamentals made that catalyst happen. So when markets broke higher up into this structure, you got to understand that the reason why markets broke higher was because of, again, the fundamental catalyst. But if that catalyst doesn't sustain, then guess what's going to happen? Markets are going to trade back down to value. Okay, so here, take a look. USD/TRY, Turkish lira here. You can see markets traded massively higher. This candle happened on the 8th, right? So August 10th, we had markets trade and break massively higher. We ended up getting to a high at the on the 13th. So over the weekend, markets closed, and then boom, we opened it back up again. 8:13, we had markets trading all the way up here at these highs. But then you had a serious pullback from where the massive candle happened. And guess what we had when it comes to this dollar index? Almost a 100% pullback, right? I mean, take a look here. We have the massive break higher. You have the 13th hit, right, where you saw markets trade back down in the structure. Markets tried to sustain for a second, but we ended up having that 100% pullback, just like we saw over there on the Turkish lira. And markets are still somewhat trading in that same price area. All right. So again, that's why this CHF play did not work out. All right. This US dollar ended up pulling back much quicker and much more significantly than the CHF, breaking us back down into structure. Now, long term, what does that mean for us? Because if you guys take a look here from a technical standpoint, we do have markets breaking and now hitting right off on this 23.6. And, that's a play that our community loves, right? It's our 23 break. We're like the Michael Jordan of this trade here. We love this trade. And usually this trade can lead us to a lower move, a more significant sell side move. But remember, folks, it's all about pricing in the data. We have to know what the hell happened here. Why did this massive price move occur? This is a massive devaluing of the Swiss franc, at least relative to the US dollar. So what we need to do, gotta do a little research. Research is real easy, all right? At least some technical research, and then we gotta do some fundamental research. But let's do some technical research first. What we gotta do, we gotta go to that same point in time on some of these other pairs. And if we see the market doing the exact same thing, then we know that that was CHF getting weaker and weaker and weaker. So here, let's pull it up. We got the US dollar versus CHF. Remember, right here we have right around March, we had this market start to trade, get massively weaker, and then it ended off at around May. Let's go to the US dollar CHF. Do we have the same thing? Well, yeah, right around March, we see markets start to trade back up into structure, and boom, look what happens. May, we have market starts to stabilize. But remember what was happening during that time? The US dollar started getting stronger in May. Okay, that's why markets were consolidated. All right, so we had the Swiss franc getting stronger, and we had the US dollar getting stronger at the same time. You know what happens when two currencies get stronger or weaker at the same time? Nothing. It's called consolidation. All right, let's see. Let's head over. Let's look at the Aussie dollar, AUD CHF. What was happening during that time? Okay, March, yeah, a little bit of a price move. May, markets turned around a bit. All right, we know Australia has not been doing too well. GBP CHF, and we should see GBP CHF also somewhat stable because of just markets overall haven't been too favorable to the pound. But here you go again. We have March, and then right around May, we had markets have a top here, and then the Swiss franc just gets massively stronger. So, okay, we've now concluded officially that it was a Swiss franc that was getting massively weaker in Q1 and then massively stronger in Q2 because markets made that top. Now we just have to figure out if we're going to play the CHF on any one of these pairs. It doesn't matter where we play it. It's just all about what market we think we can play the best. Remember, we're looking for economic divergence here. We want to play CHF weakness or strength with another currency that's going to do the opposite. All right. But either way, if our precipice of the trade is off the back of the CHF, we do have to rationalize what the hell happened in those dates. All right. Let's pull up this one more time. We do have to rationalize. Okay, what the hell went on with the Swiss franc for it to get from the 93s and have literally a 700, really 800 pip move, over the span of 2 months, 2.5 months. What happened to the CHF? All right. So look, that's what we're going to be talking about in the community. What the hell went on with the CHF during this time span? If you guys want to get more details on that, click the link in the bio and join the community. That's going to be some pretty revealing and cool stuff for us, and that's going to help us rationalize what can happen next in this currency. But we got to price that data in. We have to price that data in first. All right. So again, outside of the CHF, a lot of the pairs and a lot of the trades that I was looking to play are somewhat already playing out a bit. We do have the GBP JPY, again, massively shooting up. It's actually a larger price move than I even anticipated. Remember, we were looking at this market down here in this structure, and now we're trading. We've already traded back up into the $1.42s. You guys can see we would like a test up here at the 44 flats, but hey, if you don't think we're about to start moving some stops into profit and taking a little size off, you're crazy. All right, this is a massive buy side day here for the GBP JPY. Okay, so we're going to preserve some capital a little bit, and really let this thing ride. I don't want this thing to pull all the way back down, kill us out, and we make no money on the move. All right, so that's a pair. And then again, outside of that, just kind of wanting to see how this how things play out of it. That was more of a technical trade, and there are some things lining up technically. I'll talk about them in the community. Just wanted to update you guys on, again, just really what's been going on in these markets overall, and what I can expect here. Take a look at that Euro U all the way back up there, hit off right on this at the $1.16s to the T. That's amazing. Let's see what happens, folks. All right, let's see what happens. So look, if you want to hear more about that CHF, click the link in the bio. We're going to be talking about that in one of our webinars coming up this week. Okay, outside of that, folks, if you guys got any questions, let us know. I want to know what you guys are playing, what you guys are looking at. I'll give you guys some feedback on my thoughts as well, so comment down below, fellas. Okay, look, I'll talk to you guys real soon. Peace out.